For investors new to Ilika, how do you explain what problem your solid-state batteries solve compared with today's lithium-ion cells?
Well, in a nutshell, people are interested in better batteries. And if you put it in the context of an EV, I think it's relatively easy to understand because, in that context, you're interested in a less expensive vehicle. So the batteries should be cheaper or enable a cheaper vehicle. Secondly, you want the vehicle to go further on a single charge, so lighter and more powerful batteries. And then thirdly, if you do need to charge it, you want to be able to do it quickly. So, these are the three key benefits actually that people are looking for. And often they're the reasons why people haven't bought an EV already, right? Because they're worried about one of those three parameters, maybe all three.
You operate both Stereax and Goliath product lines. Why did you choose to target these two very different markets?
Yes, the principal reason is that as we've been developing solid-state battery technology and productizing it, we've been very keen to make sure there's a fit between the product that we know that we can deliver reproducibly and at an attractive price point and the application. And the first batteries that we produced were miniature solid-state batteries, and they are particularly useful for active implantable medical devices that need a small and powerful energy source. And on the other hand, if you look at the advantages of our Goliath large format batteries, they're a great fit with EVs because of the safety that allows you to engineer in all sorts of other benefits into the vehicle, the lightweighting opportunity, and the fact that you can charge that EV more rapidly.
Solid-state batteries are a crowded field. What genuinely differentiates Ilika's technology from competitors chasing the same goals?
Well, actually, I would contest that solid-state batteries for miniature batteries for medical devices is a crowded field. I think there's very little competition for our Stereax batteries because hardly anybody else has managed to miniaturize solid-state batteries to the extent that we've been able to do and still retain a powerful format. On the other hand, I would agree that for EVs there is a lot of development going into solid-state batteries, but there are lots of choices around the material set that you can down select for your particular device. And we've chosen materials that enable a battery that can be made using standard gigafactory processes, so people don't have to totally refit their factories, but also a battery that confers benefits on the user and the pack designer so that you can get a competitive performance. And then finally, actually, that the batteries can be recycled.
Your business model is licensing-led rather than building gigafactories. Why is that the right approach for Ilika and its shareholders?
Yes, really two reasons. First of all, culture, and secondly, capital. So what do I mean by culture? Ilika is a company that is a set of experts in the development of solid-state batteries. So we're great developers of new product. But it needs a very different culture to manufacture at scale. Lean Six Sigma, Kaizen, continuous improvement, a ruthless determination to drive down margins, totally different mindset to the research and development mindset that our team has got. And then secondly, capital. Ilika was set up as a company to develop innovative new products. Entirely equity funded, listed on AIM. In reality, it hasn't got the right capital structure to build gigafactories. My rule of thumb is that you get about 1 gigawatt hour per year of capacity for every $100 million that you invest in your factory. So effectively, a gigafactory is more like a utility investment where you need structured finance, maybe a little bit of equity up front, but a lot of debt. And you need a totally different approach to growing the business.